let's teach our kids to have like emotional balance because you're seeing so many kids, and I'm sure we'll talk about this even more.
Yeah. Let's talk about youth, right? Like I told you, the main premise of this show is to give youth and parents and people insight into this basketball space in all its facets and all its stuff like that. You now being removed from AAU, college ball, like you said, not necessarily playing it, but still a part of it. What is your perspective of youth AAU basketball development, coaching? Pros and cons. Jamal, Jamal Crawford, when I interviewed him, he had a great. He said the way he articulated, I like what he said. He said, I'm going to say what's good and what needs to be worked on, right? Not necessarily cons, but like what can we improve on? What's your perspective if you're looking at youth basketball today?
Yeah, I'll just say, to some extent, take it with a grain of salt because I'm pretty removed from working in this space. But at the end of the day, it's like if you want your end product to be an exceptional athlete who's performing at a high level, it's like you'd probably want a lot of developmental milestones checked off by the time they got to you. However, a lot of times when you get these athletes, it's like they've been exposed to a high level of basketball, but they've missed a lot of these developmental little pieces along the way.
Okay.
And so I would just say, in retrospect, if I were to have input on youth basketball, it's just like, man, let's check off some just really basic skills, and also let's teach our kids to have like emotional balance because you're seeing so many kids, and I'm sure we'll talk about this even more. But they're lacking so many fundamental skills. And so when someone can finally actually stand up to them and tell them no, which might be in college or it might be pro level, it's like it's almost too late for some of these developmental markers. And then they get passed up at that later age.